The internet began as a promise, a vast web of freedom and knowledge. But behind the screen, something else was born, a silent battlefield where information became power. Nations built invisible armies. Hackers turned into soldiers. Servers became fortresses. And somewhere between connection and control, the world entered a new kind of war, one that no one could see, but everyone was a part of. In 1998, deep within classified government networks, something began to stir. Lines of code, unseen and untraceable, moved across continents in seconds. These weren't ordinary hacks. They were probes, invisible weapons testing defenses. America, China, Russia, all racing to dominate cyberspace, each pretending it didn't exist. A new front line was opening, not on land or sea, but inside the digital shadows. By the early 2000s, the battlefield had gone quiet. Yet every keystroke carried the weight of nations. Malware replaced missiles, and hidden agents replaced armies. Governments built invisible cyber divisions sealed behind soundproof glass, their operators unseen and unnamed. From these cold rooms, lines of code leapt across borders, shutting down grids, stealing secrets, and reshaping global power without a single gun fired. Every empire needed eyes in the dark. Cyber spies slipped through firewalls like shadows through walls, harvesting secrets hidden in encrypted vaults. Diplomats negotiated on stage while their own servers were bleeding information underground. Power was no longer measured by missiles or money, but by what a nation knew and what it could steal without being seen. Then the battlefield expanded beyond governments. Ordinary people became targets and weapons at once. Every phone was a window, every camera a potential spy. Our private lives turned into open data streams, and the enemy was no longer at the border. It was inside our homes, our screens, our thoughts. As corporations grew larger than countries, the lines between state and business blurred. Private networks became weapons of surveillance and influence. Every click was recorded, every preference measured. The war was no longer fought for territory, but for our attention, and we gave it away freely, scroll by scroll. He sits alone now, his thoughts echoing through the empty room. The memories of his past flicker like faded film reels. Moments of laughter, betrayal, and regret. His eyes never blink, yet the reflection of pain ripples across the polished surface of his being. Time has become both his enemy and his companion, whispering truths he can no longer escape. Days blur into nights, and nights fade into gray. The air hums with the sound of unseen machines, like a quiet heartbeat of the world outside his cell. Yet he remains still, breathing the same recycled air, waiting for something, freedom, forgiveness, or perhaps an end to waiting itself. He begins to imagine the world beyond the walls, the wind brushing through open fields, the warmth of sunlight, the touch of rain. Though faceless, his reflection seems to yearn, projecting glimpses of the life he once knew, or perhaps never truly lived. Hope becomes his final rebellion. He realizes now that freedom isn't found in walls or chains. It's found within the mind. His form remains trapped, but his thoughts begin to drift, spreading across the walls like unseen light. The boundaries fade, the silence speaks, and he starts to see himself as something more than a prisoner. In this stillness, he becomes reflection itself, a symbol of all who search for peace within chaos. The walls dissolve, the bars fade, and the light grows stronger, embracing his form. The world outside remains unseen, but inside, he is finally free. As the light expands, his reflection scatters through endless space. There are no more walls, no chains, no numbers to mark his existence. He becomes a thought suspended in eternity, weightless and infinite. In this moment, time bends and silence blooms into understanding. He realizes that freedom was never beyond the door, but within the stillness of his being. He begins to see faint echoes of others, reflections like his, scattered through the endless light. They move without sound, without faces, yet he feels their presence. It is not loneliness now, but a shared silence, an unspoken connection. He understands that every reflection carries the same story: loss, struggle, awakening. Memories of the cell return faintly, not as walls, but as whispers of who he once was. The sound of metal, the cold air, the flickering light, all fade beneath the truth of what he's become. The prison was never real. It was only a mirror of his own belief. He breathes now without lungs, feels without flesh, and sees without eyes. He now stands beyond the concept of time. Every moment that was, is, and will be flows through his being like light through glass. The pain, the memories, the isolation, all dissolve into awareness. He realizes there is no freedom without understanding, and no understanding without reflection. He begins to move again, not as a body, but as energy. Each step radiates light across the horizon. Each motion erases boundaries. He is not escaping. He is becoming. The echoes of his reflection dissolve, merging into one silent, endless unity. He no longer remembers the walls, nor the name he once carried. Only light remains, and in that light, every reflection, every soul, every story. He is no longer one. He is all. The prison, the man, the silence, all become the same infinite reflection. The story ends where it began, in silence. But now, silence holds no fear. It is the space where everything lives, where all reflections rest. What was once a man in a cell has become light in motion, eternal, free, unseen, yet everywhere. In the end, there is only reflection, without face, without form, without end. He is light. He is silence. He is the story itself. The prison fades. The mirror breaks. And all that remains is stillness. And so, the reflections fade, one by one, until only silence remains. The war over the internet was never truly won or lost. It only changed shape. Behind every signal, every password, every unseen transmission echoes a truth. The battlefield never ends. It lives within the networks, within us. The secret war continues, not with guns or armies, but with data, memory, and the shadows of those who learned to disappear into the code.